Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from cold and rainy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hey, you guys are fired up today, aren't you? This is in continuation with the theme for the month of December, being sensitive to what begins to occur in the minds of people, especially in the United States of America, celebrating Christmas. You know, the original intention, obviously, for celebrations is to bring people together, to create warmth and fellowship and support and camaraderie, and to reflect on great memories and great times. I mean, there were expectations out the wazoo for decades about this celebration in the birth of our Savior. It's just something that has been a tradition for years and years and years, and yet, because of real life family issues that we all go through, all of us go through it. No perfect Beaver Cleaver family, no perfect Brady Bunch. We all go through issues. Because of that, many people's memories of this time of the year, rather than bringing a hopeful expectation for exciting things to come, can begin to be gripped with old familiar memories of disappointing times, letdown times, and then added to that, the pressure if someone has children, the pressure is added that comes from, oh my goodness, do I have enough money to do what I want to do for the people in my life? Do I have enough financial resource to get gifts for everybody? If I don't get one for Uncle Johnny or Aunt Susie or Brother Billy, if I mess that up, are they going to say this and who's going to say that? And what am I going to do? Honey, we don't have the money. Let's put it on the credit card, but then we're going to go into debt. And now what are we going to do? I don't know, but smile on Facebook. Smile on Facebook. You understand the pressure that's going on at this time of the year can be immense, and I do not minimize it. It's very immense. This is the time of the year when many people feel that there is no more hope and choose themselves to end everything. Please don't be that person. Please reach out to Angela and I, private message us. Let's just not take it there. It's not weakness to reach out when you could use a little hand. It's not. It's actually selfishness, because you rob someone else of the opportunity to fulfill their heart's desire to be a blessing to someone else. You know how it could make someone feel to know that they actually helped you through something? You know how you feel when someone calls on you for help. It just creates a warm environment of humility. So here's what I want to talk about this morning. Who told you that? Who told you that? This is the subject this morning that I really want you to begin to think about. If you are feeling a certain way, whether this morning you're feeling on top of the world, whether you feel amazing, whether you feel powerful, whether you feel so juiced up in life, or maybe we go to the other end of the spectrum. Maybe you feel powerless. Maybe you feel hopeless. Maybe you're starting to feel that old dark cloud of depression or anxiety coming towards you. Maybe you're feeling like, this is not the life that I envisioned for myself when I was a child. This is not what I pictured life becoming when I was growing up. This is not the marriage or relationship I thought I was going to have. These aren't the kids I thought I was going to have. This isn't the job I thought I was going to have. My life sucks. If you find yourself going into a feeling or a funk, I want to make you aware of a major key. You could not be feeling anything without thinking something prior to feeling that. Let me say that again, let that sink in. You are only feeling now the way that your body is responding to the thoughts you are in agreement with or thinking about. Some are conscious, many are subconscious. Many are old programs that run around in the background. Oh, it's this time of the year again. We always go broke. We go into this, and then we fight, and then he gets drunk, and then this happens, and that. There's a program running around in the back that is a foundation for the vocabulary, if you will. It's an etymology book with definitions and ideas and associations that is drawn up from the deep into your conscious thinking to form the language and the stories you are telling yourself now, which are causing you to feel a certain way. So if you are not feeling powerful, if you are not feeling loved, if you are not feeling juiced up on life, if you are not feeling excited and enthusiastic and hopeful for the future, it's because you are in agreement with thoughts that you are hearing in your own mind. You are hearing thoughts in your mind now that you are likely not even aware you're thinking. You may be doing your best to drown it out with wine or music or entertainment or television or Facebook or something to avoid or anesthetize, because in those times when you are quiet, you might be worried that you're going to lose your ish in that moment. And so let me encourage you in this. When you hear, well, I'm just depressed, well, I'm in a funk, I want to ask you one question to ask yourself. Who told you that? Well, Steve, I'm depressed. Who told you that? Well, things are not good at all. Who told you that? Well, things always go this way. Who told you that? Who told you that? If you ask the question, who told you that, you will likely come to the frightening and yet potentially liberating conclusion that it is the man or woman in the mirror who told you that. Now, here's the hope in this. Because you told yourself one thing that you just became aware of, you have the power, wait for it, to tell yourself a different story. As my favorite teacher, Graham Cook, would say, if all of your best thinking has brought you to a place in life that you don't like, have another thought, hun. Have another thought, sir. You have the ability to choose to tell yourself a different story. And the power of your story doesn't even have to be in alignment with what is currently happening in your life. It can be a declaration by faith of what you intend to come forward or what you are hoping and believing for. There is a specific verse in my favorite book, Le Bible, that says, let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for me. My son asked me one time when I was teaching him this, well, Dad, isn't that lying? And I said, not according to the Bible. It appears to me that God is telling us we don't have to rehearse the facts of our current situation, that we have a power to begin to speak what we intend to show up and what we believe is possible for us. Now, don't get weird about the secret. Well, that sounds like the secret, the law of attraction, Steve. I know it does. But there's a problem with the secret. It's a dirty little secret. It's a dirty little secret. It ain't a really good secret. You know why? Because the secret and the law of attraction in and of itself has a major flaw. And the major flaw is this. The secret focuses on the blessing and not the blesser, the gift, not the giver, the provision, not the provider. It leaves him out of the equation totally, which that's a bunch of crap. When you focus on the stuff and not him, that's a problem. That's a priority issue. That's a materialistic greed issue, okay? So let's just address this as quickly as we possibly can on the discourse of this rainy morning. When you hear, I'm depressed, when you hear this is bad, when you hear it won't get any better, ask yourself, hold on a second, who told me that? Who told you that? Who told you it was that way? You will discover that it's the man or the woman in the mirror who is telling yourself that story, and you're in agreement with thoughts that you may have been in agreement with for decades. And I have great news for you, friends. You can tell yourself a different story. You can tell yourself a new story. You can choose to tell yourself something different. You can choose to say, let me give you a couple of fascinating alternatives. You know what? This Christmas season can be completely different than all the others before. I have the ability to show up different and change. I have the ability to have a different attitude about this. I'm going to expect the best from me, catch that, not necessarily from others. I'm going to expect the best from me, not necessarily from others. I can't control him, can't control her, can't control them. Sure as heck can't control my teenagers. I can control Steve Collins. And I am going to enjoy this holiday season. I'm going to embrace every little raindrop. I'm going to love every little degree that it's colder in San Antonio than it normally is. I'm going to look a little extra longer at those Christmas lights on the trees. I'm going to look a little bit longer at, those celebrating Hanukkah and the beautiful, the decorations that are associated with that. I'm going to celebrate, and I'm going to really take time to smell the roses, and I'm just going to appreciate each and every day this gift that I've been given of life, because this ain't a dress rehearsal. This is it. You know what? I'm going to have a different Christmas this year. I'm going to have a different Christmas this year. I'm going to have a great Christmas. In fact, it's going to be a phenomenal Christmas. And you know what? Instead of expecting anything from anybody, I'm just going to be a blessing to everybody in my life. This is going to be a great Christmas. You have the power to tell yourself a different story. I'm depressed. Who told you that? Well, I'm just angry. Well, who told you that? Well, she made me angry. No, she didn't, Uncle Buck. She didn't make you angry. She did something or said something, and you made a decision to give up your personal power and allow her to pull the puppet strings on your heart, and you chose to get angry. You could have chosen a different response. You could have chose grace. You could have chose mercy. You could have chose understanding. You could have chose to say, she is whack as a $3 bill, and I'm just going to let her do what she got to do. Well, he just really made me angry. No, sweetheart, he did not. He did something stupid, and you chose anger as a response. It was your choice. You could have chosen to say, oh, he's just being silly. He ran out of beer last night, and, football season, his team sucks. He's just mad. You could have chosen a different response. You have the ability to tell yourself a different story. So this is what I want to leave you with today. What story would you like to tell yourself? What Christmas season would you like to enjoy this year? What experience would you like to have with your friends and family? You can't control them. You can't control what's going to happen or how they're going to show up or how they're going to react. You can control how you're going to show up and how you're going to act. So the next time you are triggered by a negative emotion or experience, I'm going to ask you to follow this simple formula. You let the negative trigger be your indicator that danger, danger, this sucks, I don't want to feel this way. When you have a negative trigger that occurs, here's my gift and challenge to you today as your video coach, all right? Stop yourself and say, okay, this feeling I'm feeling, I don't want to have this. What am I thinking right now? What thoughts are going on in my head that I can be conscious of now? What am I thinking about right now that's causing me to feel that way? And then decide what it is that you're thinking. You'll shed light on it and uncover it. And then ask yourself the follow-up question. How else could I see this in such a way that would make me feel powerful instead of powerless? You might want to write that down. That's what I tell my coaching clients for real life. How else could I look at this situation in such a way that would make me feel powerful and not feel like a victim? And then choose to dwell on those thoughts. Choose to dwell on those thoughts and choose to think on those thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, I conclude with this. This is a very tough time of the year for a lot of people emotionally. When you have a negative trigger, become conscious of what you're thinking. If you're hearing thoughts that I'm depressed or I'm down or he always does this or she always does that or it's not going to be good or there's no hope for the future, ask yourself who told you that. Then take a quick look in the mirror like this and go, oh, sucker, you told me that. And then realize, well, because you told me that, you can tell me something different. You can choose to define your situation however you choose to do it. You have a habit of just being in agreement and going with the flow and doing what's easy because, ladies and gentlemen, the hard work in this life is changing your thinking, which will change your world. Jim Rohn says it like this: work harder on yourself than you do on your business. Work harder on yourself than you do on your marriage. Work harder on yourself than you do on your physical life. Work harder on yourself than you do in any area. And the hard work that you do on yourself is changing your thinking. You know, you can be transformed by the renewing of your mind, by choosing to tell yourself a different story. Let the weak say I'm strong. Let the poor say I'm rich because of what the Lord has done for me. What can he do for you? The possibilities are limitless. Have a great day, guys.